Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new season in iRacing. You're probably surprised to see me even back in this sim after the trials and tribulations of my BMW 12.0 challenge campaign last time around, but I've dusted myself down and I've come back to try a new series. So this season we're going to be racing in the Skip Barber. This series has come really highly recommended from everyone I know who's driven in it, so I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into some open wheeler racing. And as it's a new season, I've come up with a new look too. I've recently added some new branding to my YouTube channel, so I thought I need a new paint job to go with it. Now, my graphic design skills are pretty non-existent, so I gave Stefan a call at Pixelate Liveries, and he's come up with this design for me. I'm absolutely delighted with it, and if, like me, you're looking for your own custom paint job in iRacing, but you haven't got the skills to create one yourself, I'd thoroughly recommend giving Stefan a shout. I'll make sure there's a link to his page in the description to this video. But anyway, back to the racing, and for our first video of the new iRacing season, we're actually going to be starting it from the front row. I managed to put in a fairly decent time in qualifying of 1:23.3, and we're only 2/10 off pole position. And if you look at the times from 5th place downwards, they're all in the 1:24s or lower. So I think we're in with a real shout of getting a top 5 finish here. Now, this race is going to be my third attempt at it. The first two races were both in the top split, and I struggled to be competitive, but we're in a lower split now with a larger field, so I'm hoping for a good result. We can just see the highlights of what happened in race 1. I was battling for 6th place at this point. That's me in 8th, and as you can see, I just try and push a little bit too hard on the exit to this turn, get onto the gravel, lose control, and end up throwing my smart new car into the tyre wall. Race over. Now, of course, I'm disappointed to finish 15th in that race, but I wasn't too downhearted. I was pushing hard to try and find the car's limits, and now I know where they are. Race 2 again put me in a top split, so I knew I wasn't going to be competitive, so instead, the goal this time was just to cut out the mistakes and have an incident-free clean run, and that's exactly what we got, and we ended up finishing 10th, so a top 10 finish with 0 incident points. Really encouraging to build on. And that's what we've got to do now. We're in a lower split, so we're going to be racing against drivers of a similar ability. We're going to be starting from the front row as well, so we've put ourselves in a really good position to get a good result here. The lights are about to go green, so let's get over to the grid and see how we get on. And we're underway. A little bit slow off the start, I must admit. I'm a bit out of practice when it comes to standing starts in iRacing. What with all the rolling starts from the BMW series last year, so we've lost 1 position, but that's not too bad. We're in good shape. We've just got to take it easy into turn 1. We don't want any mistakes. We don't want anyone diving up the inside either. It looks like someone did dive up the inside behind though, because there's carnage. There was a huge cloud of smoke and it looks like we've lost half the field. Oh, I must have been lucky to avoid that one, but it's worked in our favour because there's a nice bit of breathing room behind now, and it gives us the opportunity to focus on chasing these front 2. I'm certainly going to be taking things a little bit easier on this opening lap or 2. I've not built up the confidence yet in the cold tyres, so I don't want to push my luck. I mean, I want to stick with these 2 guys in front, but at the same time, I don't want to push it and throw it all away before there's enough grip in the tyres. So let's just take it sensibly, try and keep it smooth. It does mean that that gap behind will probably shrink. We've got Darryl Lyons directly behind, and yeah, he's within half a second now. 0.3 is the gap, so yeah, he's on a real charge, and I suspect he'll be looking to get around fairly quickly. He might even want to do it now because he's got a really good run coming up to the final turn. He's going to have a look up the inside. He's carrying way more speed than me, so I'm just going to let him go through, but he might be carrying too much speed because he's lost it. Lyons has crashed out on the final turn, and although we lost 3rd position, we've gained it back within a second. So across the line to end the first lap in 3rd position, and that gives us the chance to go back and check out a replay of the start. And I was a little bit sluggish off the line when the lights went green, but I felt fairly comfortable out there on the outside line, just hoping that there was no dive bomb up the inside. Thankfully, we just avoided the chaos. Keep your eye on the cars behind, and mainly the number 15 car, who moves to the inside to try and get around the green and blue car, but he doesn't quite make it. He clips the front and it gets really messy. It was the driver right behind me, Adam Chiplin, who came off worst from that. And as you can see, he's doing everything right. He's tucking in safely behind me, but he's got nowhere to go when those 2 cars slide right into his path. And it's ruined his race. Really unlucky for Adam. And then at the end of the lap, with hindsight, it was absolutely the right decision to let Darrell Lyons make that move up the inside. I thought he was carrying a lot of speed, and it turns out he was carrying too much speed as he slides off, and the replay shows just how close we were to going with him. We got a bit lucky there. Ordoni and Taraga having a proper battle for the lead in front of me there. It's surely got to be slowing them down a little bit, so you never know, it might help me reel them in. I mean, I'm keeping half an eye on the gap behind me, but at the moment we're almost 3 seconds clear of Clinton Blackford in 4th, so we're in a really comfortable position at the moment. Oh, and Taraga's got a little bit out of shape. He's surrendered the lead. Ordoni's got around the outside and he's taken first position back, and that's helped me reel them both in. I'm within 1.5 seconds again now, so we're gaining on them. Whether I'll be able to keep with them is another question, but at the moment we're just about holding our own in 3rd place. And what's the gap looking like behind now? It's 3 seconds to Augusto in 4th, so we're in a really strong position. There's a bit of breathing room behind, which will allow us to concentrate on getting around this final turn to finish lap 2. And I think something might have happened behind, you know, because we've lost Augusto, and that gap's grown to 4 seconds. Yeah, we can check out the replay and see exactly what happened on that second lap, and we'll start with this enthralling battle for the lead between Ordone and Taraga. Ordone's in the lead, Taraga's right behind him, and you can see there he just gets a bit too close, and it looks like he loses his nose cone, so I don't know if that's going to affect his aerodynamics at all, but in fact in this corner it's Ordone that gets out of shape. Look at that, how did he save it? It's an incredible rescue from Ordone in the Google car, but he surrendered the lead to Taraga, but he's not going to have to wait long to get it back because Taraga comes in here really hot. He just loses the rear, manages to save it, but it gets him out of shape, it pushes him wide. Ordone pounces up the inside and he's got the run to get the pass done. Now, I said I thought something went on behind me, and in fact we lost 3 of our nearest challengers in that lap, starting with Clinton Blackford in 4th place. Much like Taraga, he runs it into the carousel section just a little bit too hot, but he's unable to save it. And that left Augusto in 4th place in the other Google car, but he came under pressure from Nick Warness. Nick tried to move up the inside, they clip wheels and it sends them both into the gravel, so that's 2 more drivers out of contention. Just look how close it still is between Ordone and Taraga in that battle for the lead. It's just 0.1 of a second separating them, and it looks like they're side by side now, so they are taking chunks out of each other. They've been battling hard for 4 laps now. It's amazing they're both still on the track. And it's a tribute to how fast they are that they're tussling so closely with each other, and yet I still can't get near them with an open track. But I'm not going to complain about that because we've just finished the 4th lap and we're still lying in a comfortable 3rd position. This is far better than I'd hoped for at this stage of the race, and we've still got a 3-second gap back to Latassa by the looks of it now in 4th place. Yeah, it's 3.3 seconds. So we're in really good shape 5 laps into this race. Oh, there's a huge cloud of smoke ahead. What's happened? Have we lost one of the front 2? Yeah, we've lost Taraga and a back marker by the looks of it, so I'm guessing Taraga's had an issue trying to get round a lap driver. We're up to 2nd. Yeah, at the time I assumed Taraga must have had problems trying to lap that slow driver, but the replay shows he'd already got around him and he's back on Ordone's tail, and in fact he loses control all of his own accord and then gets clipped by the back marker after he spun. We're riding on board with Taraga now and he's chasing Ordone. You can see he just gets onto the grass there and then he starts to weave a bit and he never really recovers. I wondered whether there might have been contact with Ordone, but there wasn't. He just can't control that car, and then he takes a whack from Barcida, the back marker. So incredibly, after all that, we're going to cross the line to start lap 6 in 2nd place. And there's the confirmation. Incredible stuff. Ordone's about 5 seconds down the road now, so we're certainly not going to catch him. I mean, he was faster than us when he was battling for the lead, and now he's out on his own. I suspect he's just going to clear off. He's got the pace, but more importantly, look at that gap to 3rd place behind us. It's 4.4 seconds. We're in a really comfortable position here, and we're a 1/3 of the way through the race. Tyres and brakes should all be up to temperature now, so we can push a little bit harder. I'm starting to feel a bit more confident with the grip. Oh, and there's a yellow flag. Don't tell me we've lost the leader too. No, we haven't. It's a back marker. Oh, for a moment there, when I saw that yellow flag come out, I just wondered if Ordone had lost it and we were going to be gifted the lead. But we're not quite that lucky yet. And instead, we're going to have to think about maybe trying to get around a back marker now. Although he might have lost it, there's a huge cloud of smoke. Where is he? Oh, he's there. Oh, we've just got around him. That was close. That was close. Yeah, this one gave me a real fright. That was far too close for comfort. Kreska, the lap driver, just loses the rear here. He spins off in a cloud of smoke. I couldn't see where he was until the last minute, and luckily I guessed the right way to go left. Yeah, lap drivers weren't really an issue for me in the BMW 12.0 challenge last season. They're only 12-minute races, so they're too short really to come across back markers. But I'm going to have to get used to that, because that was just a warning on how quickly things could change. Just a millimetre or two different and I would have been collected by that back marker when he spun, and my race would have been over, so we really got lucky there. But yeah, it's definitely a warning sign. And although we're still in second place, having to get off the gas to avoid that car has brought Latassa right back into plays. Within a second now, he's gained about 2.5 seconds over that lap, mainly down to that incident. And it also seems to have got a lot cloudier here at Summit Point. The sun was shining for the first few laps of the race, but it's very gloomy out there now. And I don't know if that's going to have any effect on track temperature or tyre temperatures or what, so I might just have to take things a little bit easier here. The last thing I want to have is to get caught out by a drop in tyre temperature and lose some grip, so let's just take it steady here. Oh, and I can see Latassa in my rearview mirror. What's the gap now? It's 0.2. He's right behind me, and he might even make a move here, but we can defend this line. Keep it tight. He's not going to be able to get around through this carousel section as long as we keep the race in line, which we're doing. Keep things tight, keep things smooth. But yeah, Latassa is right behind me now, and it looks like he wants to make a move. So we're going to have to work hard to defend this second position. I was just a bit nervous getting on the gas out of that turn, and as a result I shifted up to 4th a bit later than I normally would, and that might have invited Latassa in to dive up the inside. He has done. I can do nothing but give him space there, and that might have cost me some exit speed as well. It has done, because old Zach behind, he's going to tear by too. And you know what, I think Taraga might come by as well. He's got some incredible pace. So we've been beaten up good and proper out of that final turn at the start of lap 9. Oh, and it's just another example of how quickly things can change in sim racing as we drift into turn 1 very wide. Yeah, just a couple of laps ago we were sitting pretty in second place. Then we had that back marker spin in front of us. We had to get off the gas and take avoiding action. That brought the pack behind into play. And then in the space of about 50 yards, we've gone from 2nd to 5th. And you know what? I honestly don't think we're going to be able to keep up with them. They've already cleared off the 3 of them. 2 big puffs of smoke there. That just shows how hard they're all pushing, locking up the brakes into the carousel section. Again, I've just not got the confidence to push quite as hard as that. I'm worried about locking up the brakes and losing control, and I think that's the difference at the moment between being able to get a podium place and having to settle for 5th. I just haven't got the confidence or the ability yet to be able to push this car to its limit. Well, we've passed the halfway mark of the race now. I've forgotten how gruelling these longer races in iRacing are, and we're coming across another back mark here, but thankfully it's on the start-finish straight, so it's much easier and safer to get by. But yeah, we're halfway through the race and we're lying in 5th. We said at the start a top 5 finish would do. But as I say that, one of the guys in front has slowed right down. Who's that? It's Latassa. Latassa's well off the pace, so something must have happened to him. I don't think there was an accident. I didn't see any yellow flags come out, but yeah, Latassa has dropped right off. So he must have a big problem, and that's put us back up to 4th. But we're going to have to concentrate on this back marker because we're going to catch up with him at the worst possible time. I really didn't want to go around the outside of that fast right-hander because it's so easy to drift off, and we had to get right off the gas. And that's cost us a lot of time, so the guys in front are going to be clear now. Yeah, before we go back and look at the replay to see what happened to Latassa, we can see the moment when he got around the inside of me on the final turn to take that third position. And it cost me big time that, because I lost my drive out of the final turn, and we lost 2 more positions in the space of about 50 yards on that surge down the start-finish straight. And then on the following lap, Taraga gets out of Latassa's draft, makes a move up the inside, gets a little bit out of shape, and it looked like it was netcode contact that caused the damage to Latassa. That's really unfortunate for him. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned now about Barcina behind, because he's a lap back, but it looks like he's got some fairly decent pace. He closed right in on me when we had to get off the gas a lap ago to avoid that back marker, and he's sticking with me. And I just have a hunch that he might be tempted to make a move past me and try and unlap himself. So I've got to be wary of that, because the last thing I want to happen is to be taken out by a lap driver trying to unlap himself. So if he does look like he's going to make a move, I think we've just got to roll out the red carpet for him. But look, there's someone off on the left. That's Olzak, the third place driver, who's binned it. So out of nowhere, we're suddenly back into a podium position. We're in third again. Oh, this race just keeps on delivering twists and turns. We were in second, we dropped back to fifth, and now we find ourselves in third again. But we've still got to deal with a lap driver behind. Barcina's not giving up. He's within a half a second of me now, so I'm really starting to worry about this. What's the gap back to the driver in fourth? Sean Edwards, he's 3.5 seconds back. So I think if I can get the opportunity to let Barcina by safely without losing too much time myself, I might have to do that as I clip a bit of the inside curb, and that'll probably give Barcina the opportunity he's been waiting for. I've lost a lot of drive coming out of the turn. Barcina's pulled alongside. He's got the drive, so he's going to unlap himself. I'm just going to have to be careful that I don't get too close to him, although he is going to come right back onto the racing line. So I'm going to brake just that little bit earlier to try and give him the space. Oh, he's lost it. I'm going to have to try and avoid him, am I? No. He's managed to save it, but that threw me onto the gravel. I thought I was going to have to take avoiding action, and that's cost me big time. Edwards is going to close right up now. So let's look at the replay and see what caused Olzak to crash out of third place, and he made exactly the same mistake as I did in my first race yesterday. Just getting too much of the gravel, and it sends him into the wall. And then a lap later I have another close and very costly shave with a back marker, and this time it's Barcina unlapping himself down the start and finish straight, but he loses it. I think he's gone completely and take avoiding action, but it turns out I didn't need to. Barcina saved it, but it cost me big time. Yeah, that panicked and unwanted excursion onto the grass at T1 has really cost me. It was a 3.5 second gap back to Edwards in fourth, but now it's less than a second. Edwards has closed right in, and I'm going to push as hard as I can to try and keep that gap at least half a second. But it all depends on a good exit at this final turn. I've seen what happens when I don't get a good drive. Seemed like we took it fairly well there, but Edwards is within striking distance. It's 0.2 of a second. He's certainly got the drive, and he's going to look up the inside. We're side by side as we race to turn one. Who's going to come out on top? Who's got the guts? Edwards has backed out of it by the looks of it, so I might be able to seal this turn off if I could just get it turned in, but I can't. So that has given Edwards the chance to nip up the inside. We're wheel to wheel. Edwards has just got the drive. He's taken third place. He's put me back to fourth. Oh, that was really close racing, but I think I can stick with him. It's not like the guys who passed me before who I knew were lapping quicker than me. I think Edwards is lapping at a similar sort of pace, so we can try and battle with him here. The podium's not lost yet. And Edwards has lost it, and we're going to hit him. Oh no, somehow we get it stopped. And now we've got Yabe, who's gone around the outside. So we've lost a position in that melee. Oh, I felt sure we were going to hit Edwards there as he span right in front of us. But we managed to avoid him. But it's cost us big time again. It's dropped us another position. We're now down to fifth. I mean, we've had a few close shaves with back markers in this race, but I still don't know how I managed to avoid contact with Edwards there. But we're looking at the replay of the pass. I just run it in too wide to be able to defend the position. So Edwards jumps up the inside, but then a couple of corners later, on the approach to the carousel section, he gets it all wrong. He runs in way too hot, loses the rear, and at this point I was 100% sure I was going to hit him. Somehow we didn't, but look at Yabe, ever the opportunist. He's going to pounce and take 4th position. So when we cross the line, we should get confirmation that we're in fact back in 5th position. Yeah, there it is on the leaderboard. But I still don't think our podium hopes are over yet, because I do think we've got the pace to stick with both Edwards and Yabe, particularly if they're battling. And look at Edwards there, he's run it very wide, he almost got onto the gravel, and we know from the previous lap he's got a mistake in him, and we're right back behind these two guys now, so let's push. Let's put them under as much pressure as we possibly can and see if we can force them into a mistake. And look at Edwards, he's out on the gravel, and that's exactly what I did to crash out, so Edwards is really lucky to save that. And we're approaching the carousel now, and we saw him get it all wrong here last time, so I'm just going to give him a bit more space this time, and it's a good job I did, because he's crashed again, and this time he's gone. He's not saving that one. We're back up to 4th, and now we've got to pursue Yabe. Yeah, this is the replay of Edwards spinning out at the carousel. And as you can see, it's exactly the same mistake as he made a lap ago. But this time he gets out onto the grass and there's no saving that one. So 2 laps to go of an absolutely incredible race here at Summit Point. I'm going to need a lie down when this one's finished, but we've got 2 more laps to get through first. Although I do think that podium is starting to slip through our grasp now. Yabe is 3 seconds ahead. And we've got a back marker in front as well. Oh no, it's Barcina. We're going to get by Barcina, but I really don't want any repeats of what happened before. I really hope he doesn't try and unlap himself again, because I don't want to have come this far and have it ruined. So let's just try and push and open up that gap. I want to keep Barcina as far away as I possibly can at this stage. Yeah, Yabe's pulling further away now. It's almost 4 seconds. So I think that ship sailed. I think the best we can hope for now is 4th, which is still an outstanding result. But we've got 1.5 laps still to go. There's a little puff of smoke, but it looks like Yabe's just locking up the tyres slightly. No big deal there. I don't think he's going to make a mistake. He's under no pressure from me. He's got a comfortable gap. He's not chasing anyone. It's a lap driver who's ahead of him, and he's 7 seconds further ahead. So I don't think he's going to be close enough to him to get slowed down. But yeah, the white flag's coming out, so we're approaching the last lap. I'm just keeping half an eye on my rearview mirror because Barcina is still there. He's 0.3 seconds behind. And this was where he tried to pass the last time. I'm going to try and get a better exit, and hopefully I won't invite him to make the move. Is he going to get the drive? It still looks like he's a bit of a way back. And looking down the road ahead, it looks like there's a back marker on the racing line, so I think I'm going to have to move out into the middle to pass him, but Barcina's taking a dive down the inside. Surely he's not going to get that stopped, and he's going to lose control again, and it's coming right for me. Oh, and we just get away with it. Oh, Barcina, you nutcase. What are you doing on the last lap? Trying to unlap himself for the 2nd time, and for the 2nd time he span right in front of me, and that was even closer. That could have ruined the race with a lap to go, and thank goodness it didn't. We're still in 4th place, and we're still alive. Oh, that gave me a real fright. I'm just going to be taking it very easy for this last half a lap, I can assure you of that. Let's just coast around here. What's the gap to the driver behind him 5th? It's 3.5 seconds, so we should be okay. We've got another lap driver behind us, but hopefully he won't get up to the same shenanigans as the driver on the first turn. I really want him to keep his distance. There's less than half a lap to go now, so please just stay back and let me finish this race in one piece. We're going to get 4th position. A great result. And I have to say, it's been dramatic. It's been tense. There's been a few frightening moments, but it's been an absolutely enthralling race. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a great start to a new season to finish in 4th place. And it's done. We can take a deep breath, and I might need to prise my fingers off one by one from this steering wheel, because that was nerve-wracking. Well, now that the dust settled, let's go back and check out a replay and see just how close to disaster we came on that final lap. Look at Barcina, he's right in my draft and he pulls out, but he probably doesn't know that I've got to pull out too. But nevertheless, he's carrying way too much speed. He's always going to spin. And look at that, I just managed to get by. Oh, how devastating would that have been if we'd have made contact and picked up damage there. We can ride on board and see exactly how close it was. And if by any chance you're watching this, Barcina, I do apologise if I called you a name in the heat of the moment. I was getting very stressed then, but thankfully no harm was done. So let's check out the classified results, and there we are, 4th place. So we did miss out on a podium, but we achieved the goal we set out at the start, and that was to get a top 5 finish, and we did it in fine style. A great start to the Skip Barber season. And I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and if you do want to follow my progress in the Skip Barber series this season, please do subscribe. There'll be a video each week from this championship, as well as my usual ranked races on Race Room and a bit of Assetto Corsa Competizione as well. It'd be great to have you on board. Feel free to check out some of my past videos, including my eventful campaign in the BMW 12.0 Challenge last season. Take care, see you soon. Cheers.